You're listening to the Doctor Is In podcast, brought to you by MartinClinic.com. During the episode, the doctors share a lot of information. As awesome as the info may be, it is not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any disease. It's strictly for informational purposes.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're going to continue on with atherosclerosis. We talked about it yesterday, and again, we'll just sort of finish up on that today. I want to finish up that teaching. So a little teaching this morning again on atherosclerosis, okay? So yesterday, as we looked at atherosclerosis, is hardening of the arteries, a buildup of calcium in the arteries, and yesterday we looked at what atherosclerosis is. We talked about its rapid progression after the age of 40. Now, I just want to give you a heads up about tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to blow away your socks. I found a study this morning. I tell you, it was a showstopper, and it'll be incredible. It came out of Britain. And when I read this thing early this morning, it was very early, I looked at it and I just said, wow. Some things we knew a little bit, but not like this. And guys, it is going to be a showstopper. As a matter of fact, I'm going to include it in my book. My book's not done yet. Okay. We learn something new every day. So we're talking about hardening of the arteries, incredible. Number one killer still in our society today is heart disease and stroke, right? So what clogs up your blood vessels, okay? And we emphasized yesterday that medicine for the last 50 years or more have been looking for love in all the wrong places, because as far as heart disease goes, the only dent that's ever been made, and now it's being undone, the only dent that was ever made in heart disease was when people stopped smoking. So they knew that smoking damaged blood vessels. And it still does today for those people. This is why I was against, okay, just because people ask me, by the way, I was against legalizing marijuana. And the reason is because I thought, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have a whole new generation of smokers. Now they're smoking weed. But what's the difference, right? I mean, I don't want to go into all the... I was negative on it. Like, why do we need another drug? Okay? And I was thinking more of the effect of smoking and what it does. Anyways, the new smoking is sugar. It's not cholesterol. It's not cholesterol. Don't blame cholesterol for heart disease. It's not a factor. Now, bad fats are a factor, and we talked about that yesterday. Triglycerides. But triglycerides come from sugar. Triglycerides come from crappy carbohydrates. Triglycerides are made in the liver, guys. And the liver is a suitcase. It's Costco's parking lot. It's too full. And what we're going to look at tomorrow, you guys, anyway, doesn't matter. I don't want to give it up. We'll do it tomorrow. But all I'm saying is that inflammation is not Houdini. Inflammation is what's damaging the blood vessels. So it's disease without a fever. My son coined that. Disease without a fever. Because people died 100 years ago, mostly from infection. They didn't die from heart disease 100 years ago. A few did, but not many. Heart disease and cancer, these were relatively unknown. It doesn't mean there was none. It just means that it was hardly on the radar of what killed people before. But today, it's at the forefront. Cancer and number one is heart disease. Number two is cancer. Number three is Alzheimer's. These are inflammation. They're diseases without fever. But it's important to find out what causes the inflammation. Diseases without fever. Cancer is a disease without fever, but it's inflammation. But inflammation is not Houdini. Doctors are finding out about inflammation, but it's not Houdini. It's a reaction inside the body to elevated insulin, primarily. Could be leaky gut. So that's why, guys, this is basics. So when you see blood vessels being damaged, it's at the endothelial level, and there's a couple of factors that damage the inflammation, yes, but inflammation produces cytokines, and cytokines are produced to boost your immune system against infection. But inflammation, when there's no real infection, it doesn't get turned off, and it damages. Long-term inflammation damages those blood vessels. One of the things we talked about is yesterday we talked about elevated homocysteine, okay? If you can get this tested, most doctors won't test it, but they could check your levels of homocysteine. Because homocysteine, what it is, it's a cloud. The best way to describe it is it's a cloud that doesn't allow your cells to communicate properly, and it has an effect on inflammation. Okay, so and what affects homocysteine? Low levels of B12, low levels of vitamin D, elevated insulin. They all have an effect on levels of homocysteine. Okay, the other one is fibrinogen. I got my tongue tied up. So these things, again, are just, they happen to be present, but they're not the cause. They're not the cause. Elevated levels of CRP, C-reactive protein. That is an inflammation marker. If you have elevated levels of C-reactive protein, these are good tests to get done to see if you have any silent inflammation in your body. Now, I got to talk to you about this one. I think it's the most important one. What vitamin K2 does in atherosclerosis. Because vitamin K2, guys, vitamin K2 takes calcium and puts it in your bones where it belongs. The number one selling supplement still today. It's incredible to me, but it's 50 years old in terms of supplementation. Okay, because it was number one back in the 70s and the 60s, number one selling supplement. Still today, like I was saying yesterday, what's the number one selling drug of all time? Cholesterol lowering medication called Lipitor. Number one of all time. It's incredible. Think about that. But the number one selling supplement of all time is calcium. The problem with you take a calcium supplement, it never gets to your bones. It stays in your bloodstream. Oh, Dr. Martin, I take it with magnesium. I don't care. You don't need calcium. You need vitamin D. You need vitamin K2. Vitamin K2, by the way, is only found in the animal kingdom. Vegans, vegetarians, don't fool yourself. You're not getting K2, you're getting K1. K1 thins your blood. Okay, I got it. I'm not saying it's bad for you. When you eat kale, chicken and salad, you ladies, when you have your salad, you're getting K1. What's that doing for your heart? Well, it thins your blood. That's not a bad thing. But you want to get rid of hardening of the arteries? You got to take K2. And K2 is found in eggs, meat, and cheese, especially butter and cheese curds. And people don't eat enough of that. Oh, Dr. Martin, butter, that's going to give me cholesterol. I mean, I can't have that butter. How many, especially my generation, have drank the Kool-Aid? Butter. Look at it. It looks like cholesterol. It is. Oh, doc, I thought cholesterol was bad for me. No, that was a lie. I keep repeating it, okay? I keep repeating it. It was never true. It wasn't true 50 years ago, 60 years ago when they made it up. It was a theory and it was wrong. But the whole emphasis on atherosclerosis, the whole emphasis, all of it, all the research, all the money, all the pharmaceuticals, all the doctors, their training is atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, is caused by cholesterol, bad cholesterol, LDL. And so they found a drug to lower LDL. But it's not getting at the root of the issue. It doesn't help because it's not true. It's not the problem. The problem is calcium hardening those arteries due to inflammation, the damage in the little endothelial wall. Inflammation. And then calcium can't leave because you're not eating. You see what happened? You got to understand what happened 50 years ago. They told you fat makes you fat and fat gives you cholesterol. Quit eating fat foods. So when you see cream, they made people, you see cream? Bad. You want skim milk, white Pepsi. You see an egg? Bad. Eat our cereal. Why? No cholesterol in cereal. As a matter of fact, it will lower your cholesterol because it's full of fiber. A heart on the box of cereal. If you eat it, you're going to have a heart attack. Somebody said yesterday to me after the show, or maybe during the show, I read the scrolls. Doc, what about oatmeal? Yeah, it's got a heart on the box too. Keep eating it, you're going to have a heart attack. Yeah, because it's not getting at the problem. It's going around the problem. It's not getting at the root issue. You have damage to the blood vessels. That's what atherosclerosis is. And vitamin K2 is essential. This is why we put it in our vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential to protect your blood vessels. You know, did you know that the sun, remember what I said last week, you are a human solar panel. The human body is a solar panel. God put the sun up there for you and for me. And he didn't say stay away from it. Plants are not stupid, you know. Plants need, what do plants need? The sun. They need water too, right? Sun and water, sun and water. You want to have healthy blood vessels? Sun and water, sun and water. You know me. I talk about water for your heart all the time. One of the biggest factors in heart disease is dehydration. Yeah, dehydration. H2O. And only H2O is H2O. Don't fool yourself. Drink 2 liters of water every day. If you don't like water, too bad. Suck it up, buttercup. I don't care if you don't like water. You will. Right? You will. I've never met a person that starts drinking water for a month. Okay? Isn't it a good thing? Do the reset and drink water. Because people say, Doc, what am I going to drink on the reset? Water and coffee. Guys, the reset is my invention. Do you think there wouldn't be coffee in it? You got to have coffee. I always say, Lord, take me home if there's no more coffee, okay? Because I don't want to be here. Coffee is one of my little joy. No, it's a big joy in I love it. No, but seriously, guys, this is really, really, really important, okay? K2, Lynn is saying you shouldn't take it when you're on Coumadin. No, that's K1. If you're on Coumadin, quit eating salad. Ladies, chicken and salad. What is Coumadin? It's a blood thinner. It's K1 that thins your blood, not K2. K2 heals your blood vessels. It takes the calcium, the number 1 selling supplement. Ladies are all worried about osteoporosis. Don't worry about osteoporosis. Worry about your heart. And ladies, this is the reason, number 1 reason that you get osteoporosis. You don't eat enough eggs, meat, and cheese. You're always eating salad. Salad don't build muscles. And if you don't have strong muscles, you're going to have weak bones. And K2 puts that calcium that you eat in cheese and eggs and meat. Did you know eggs, meat, and cheese have calcium? Eat your calcium. Don't take it as a supplement. Why are you taking that? Don't take it. Take your vitamin D. That's how you absorb your calcium from your food. And vitamin K2, because that's the transporter. It puts it right into your bones where it belongs. But you need strong muscles, guys. And most women, I hate to be negative, but you don't eat enough protein. Oh, doc, I thought that was hard on my kidneys. No, it's the opposite. Sugar is hard on your kidneys. It's the opposite. Yesterday we talked about salt. They made salt the bad guy. Since when is salt bad for you? It's good for you. It's sugar. I'm going to prove something to you tomorrow. I just want to tell you, I'm going to prove something to you tomorrow. You see this study out of Britain? I tell you, if this don't blow away your socks, I don't know what'll blow away your socks, guys. I can't get over what they found out in Britain. It's going to blow you away. Okay, so we talked about vitamin K2. Very, very, very important for your heart. Okay? It's extremely important. Your body, like I said, is a human solar panel. You need vitamin D for healthy blood vessels because it's very anti-inflammatory. You need vitamin K2. We talked about your fibrinogen and your B12. Why is B12? Okay, why is B12? Okay, for homocysteine. Without enough B12, your cells don't communicate properly. There's a cloud. It's like fog. You ever hear of the fog of war? Well, homocysteine is like a fog, so your cells don't communicate with each other. And when they don't communicate with each other, there's an inflammation that is created there. And one of the biggest factors in homocysteine is B12, vitamin B12. Now, where do you get B12 in food? Red meat. So how can red meat be hard on your heart? It's a lie, guys. It's a lie. It's not hard on your heart. Eskimos don't get heart disease. They die because the polar bears eat them. They don't die like we die. Until, you know how they die like we die? When they eat our food. Crappy carbohydrates. Bring the First Nations, bring the Eskimos, bring the Aboriginal people and give them the white man's food. Crappy carbohydrates, you know what they're worse than us. Because their bodies were never meant to eat sugar. Did you know that? Yeah, a little bit of maple syrup out of the trees or honey. But no sugar. You see, they're not made for that. We're not either. But they're worse, right? African Americans, listen to me. African Americans, listen to me. You were never made to eat sugar. You don't do well with that. Nobody does well, but you do worse. India, Egyptians, not the black skin, but the brown skin. Very, very susceptible to diabetes. You're not meant to eat sugar like we are. Well, we're not even, like I said, I don't know why I keep making that mistake. Like nobody's made to eat the crappy carbs. But if you've got brown, black skin, you're even more susceptible. Plus, you need more vitamin D than I do. The darker your skin, the more vitamin D you need. You need more vitamin D. You need more sun. And of course, they made the sun the boogeyman. They made cholesterol the boogeyman. And the results have been astounding. We have more heart disease today than ever before. We've made no dents in heart disease. Once we got over the little, bump went down a little bit because people stopped smoking, we're right back up. It's the number one killer, and it's worse today than it ever was before. And I'm going to make a little prediction, guys. I'm not a prophet nor the son of one, but let me make a prediction. Unless we get off the Titanic, the world is on the Titanic. Metabolically, the world is on the Titanic. 50%. It's more than that. But half the population is diabetic or pre. It's more than that, but that's all right. We'll go with that. 88% of the population is metabolically unwell. What's that mean? What is metabolic syndrome? Has everything to do with your insulin. Has everything to do with your liver. Never separate your pancreas from your liver. Because what the pancreas does, the liver will come right after it. Why? Because your liver is the suitcase. Your liver is your storage. Your liver does 600 things. You're so fearfully and wonderfully made, guys. It's unbelievable. But if your pancreas is secreting too much insulin, the thing that happens in the liver. That's why the liver is hugely connected, guys, to your heart, because your triglycerides, your HDL, are made in your liver depending on what foods you eat. Can I be any more clear than that? When you eat crap, your liver pays the price, and your liver starts making triglycerides. 3 fat balls. When you have too much fat in your liver, when your liver gets full of this, it empties itself out by making triglycerides. And triglycerides is what damages your blood vessels. Triglycerides. When you eat fat, you don't make triglycerides. How do you like that? Even though there's 3 fat balls, because they're 3 fat balls from a sugar. So when you eat fat, that's why Eskimos don't get heart disease, because they eat fat all day long. And therefore their triglycerides are very low. And their HDL, what's HDL? You guys should know this. What is HDL? Good cholesterol. What does good cholesterol do? What's your HDL? It's the trucks on the highway taking this out of your bloodstream. That's why you want high HDL and low triglycerides. And it's all has to do with food. If you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, you're elevating your good cholesterol. Dr. Martin, cholesterol? Yes, cholesterol. I know it's hard to understand. Undo the thinking of the last 50 years. Undo the thinking. If you go on Netflix and you watch documentaries that were made, be a vegan, be a vegetarian. No! Stop! And I mean it. It ain't good for you because you're not making... You know what I found? This is just as generally what I find. You put a vegetarian or a vegan, you know what? They're carboholics. They're eating way too much rice and soy. They eat these fake hamburgers. Soy. Oh, don't get me going. Guys, I know I'm not popular. I know it's going against the grain. But I make my case based on look at where we're at. And tomorrow, when I bring this study out to you guys tomorrow, you're going to say, Dr. Martin, I tell you, you've been telling us that for years. Well, wait till tomorrow. I tell you, it is incredible. So guys, you got it? Diet, heart disease. Negative, fills your liver, triglycerides. And if you don't eat enough, the good things, you don't get enough HDL. You don't get enough HDL. You can't take your triglycerides out of your bloodstream. They hitch the wagon to your bad cholesterol and they take it out of your body. That's what HDL does. And you can't have HDL without eating eggs, meat, and cheese. Your body can't make enough of it. You got to eat it. That's how you're made, guys. That's how you're made. Okay. Once again, love you guys. Okay. And I mean that. Somebody asked me yesterday, or at least I saw it. I thought Dr. Martin Jr. was taking your place in the office. Nah, he's not. Dr. Martin Jr. is an educator, just like me. Okay. And, he's a little bit more behind the scenes than I am, but he's smarter. He's like his mother. He does a lot of the research. Okay. So, love you guys. Now listen, guys, if you got any questions about your health, we're here for you. You want to know? We're here. We'll try to answer all your questions. And you know what I like about our Martin Clinic Facebook group is that a lot of times I read I'm in there and looking at it, and I get our little disciples, they're already answering the questions, and they're pretty sharp. So that's an interactive society in there. It's wonderful. I love it. Good for you. I see. Just let me finish with this. My goal is for you to take control of your health. And my goal is for you to have an influence on the people around you. Some people have more influence than others because they have a bigger circle that they can get to. And this is my goal, is to educate you. You make changes, you influence other people. Okay? That's, if you want to know my goal to go into full-time education now, is for that. I want to teach, and I want to teach you. Yeah? Not everybody's going to listen, but the ones that listen, I'm going to teach. And I'm going to be controversial because I'm going to tell you what I see. Of 46 years of practice, I'm going to tell you what I see. And I'm going to tell you what gets results. That's me. That's my goal. So that's what I do. So as long as I'm alive on the planet, God willing, I'm going to teach. Okay? So love you guys. Lord willing, share this with your friends. Okay? You are a person of influence. Share this with your friends. Talk to you soon.
You've reached the end of another Doctor is In podcast with your hosts, Dr. Martin Jr. and Sr. Be sure to catch our next episode, and thanks for listening.